Picked up a few really good deals over the weekend. I guess the end of last week into the weekend rather. But the first being a 5 Lati coin from 1931. Not in the best condition, but still very nice. It's acceptable. And I already have a 1931 that I've shown in another video of mine. It's that I'm really pleased with, so I don't really mind so much that this isn't in the best shape, but it was a very good deal, and it was from one of my favorite sellers on eBay. The eBay store is called UFO Mechanics. If any of you actively buy foreign coins on eBay, I'm sure you've come across him at some point. Got this coin from him also. This is a 1936 10 Lidu from Lithuania. This coin has been on my radar and watch list for quite some time now. There's only 75% silver, and it's a much smaller coin than the 5 Lati. But it is, or it tends to be quite a bit more expensive, or at least from my experience with watching these auctions. It's not, yeah. It's a pretty thick coin, and there's some edge lettering that I'm not entirely sure what it says, but I will. I'll check that out afterward. But this is Vytautas, I think that's how you say his name. He is one of the more famous Grand Dukes of Lithuania, ruled from the end of the 14th century through, I think, the middle of the 15th century. But during the interwar period, like up until the 30s, he was kind of resurrected as like a national hero, or like a symbol of Lithuania, and they erected, tons of monuments and statues for this guy, and of course he's featured on their coinage and everything. But very interesting guy, and I was reading a little bit more about him a few months ago, and I saw that he was at one point in time the Prince of Lutsk also, which is a city in Ukraine now, and I actually have a friend that lives in Lutsk, so I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, beautiful coin, great deal. Both coins were about the same price, but whatever. This is a 2 kroner from Switzerland, from Sweden rather. 1934. This coin is in very nice condition. I think I paid right at melt for it. It's 80% silver. I want to say I paid maybe $7 for this coin, which is right about the melt price at the moment. I think I showed this in my last video. Slightly older, but it's the same coin. A lot more circulated, and definitely not a very nice example compared to this one, but paid less for this than I did this, which is kind of awesome. It almost looks proof-like in some areas. So yeah. Also picked up 2 junk pieces from Sweden, 1947 and 1946 1 krona coins. These are one of my favorite junk silver coins to buy. I don't think anyone collects these, so you are able to get them for pretty cheap online. Same thing goes with this 1921 florin. Not a very exciting coin, and I think I featured one of these in like every one of my videos. But I got this one recently for under melt, a few cents under, not too much. If anyone is looking for, foreign junk silver is my favorite thing to buy. Because I think most people tend to look for US 90% like constitutional silver when they buy, quote unquote junk silver. But I think a lot of people are failing to look at European silver coins. British florins and shillings and sixpences and everything from the 20s, for whatever reason, I'm able to find it for melts, sometimes under, sometimes a little bit over, but yeah, sure, it's not the most exciting stuff in the world, but I think it's definitely worth looking at. I probably shouldn't have given that away. I watch a lot of auctions and whatever, though. This is a 5-cent piece from Canada, 1888, with a young Victoria. It has been cleaned at some point, but it's in very good condition, and I enjoy the smaller silver coins, as I've said in other videos. These 5-cent pieces are sterling, and they call them fish scales. It's about the size of your fingernail. I find them bent often in junk boxes. I've found a few bent examples that I've picked up, but these are great. Here's another one. It's a 1902 5-cent piece from Canada. This one's in better condition with Edward VII. I like this one a lot more, but I think I paid $1.50 a piece. I think it was $3 for both of these. So, excellent deal. And last but not least, I've got a 3-cent piece from South Africa, 1941. Not the nicest coin in the world, but I realized that I had 0 3-pence coins from South Africa, and I had to change that. So there's that. I've got a few from Rhodesia, and but I, for whatever reason, never gotten around to buying one from South Africa. And I'm sure you've noticed these books under here. I've got Lincoln cents from 1909 to 1958, Mercury dimes, and Roosevelt dimes 264. The only Rosies worth buying, in my opinion, or collecting. I don't normally get into albums for whatever reason. I don't know why. I never have. But recently I found these in my local Barnes & Noble bookstore for just a few dollars a piece. And I thought, heck, why not? Something to work on, They're made in the USA. That's always a good thing. These are made by the Littleton Coin Company, and these were like $3.50 a piece. You can see the price tag, yeah. So I said, why not? And I plan on working on these this year, hopefully fill them all. It's a small goal of mine. I've also been doing some coin roll hunting. I used to often, a few years ago, kind of gave up on it. I don't know. But recently, I've kind of been bored, been kind of indoors with a cold, so it seemed like a good idea. And out of this box, I pulled, I think, 25% of the pennies I pulled were copper, so that's a good thing. And I think I got about 20 wheat pennies and 5 or 6 Canadian pennies. So, and I actually got this in a Coinstar machine, Mexican cent from 1945. It's actually in pretty good shape. For those of you who do not know what a Coinstar machine is, if you're in Europe or whatever, it's a ridiculous machine that lazy Americans use to count their coins, and they pay about 10% on average of the value of the coins counted to this Coinstar company. I never use them, but I do check the trays for rejects. For example, if this, for example, obviously isn't the same size as a US coin, so it's rejected and it falls in the bottom. A lot of people are too lazy to pull them out. So you find silver dimes, silver quarters that aren't recognized as modern coins, so they're rejected. A lot of foreign and a lot of tokens and bent pennies and the smushed pennies I find, but my wife hates it. But every time we walk by a Coinstar machine, I reach into the tray and check it out. She gets really embarrassed, but anyway, that's it for today, guys. Take it easy.